Welcome back to the Three Parallels podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, we embrace who we are, and we make room for who we're trying to become. On today's show, y'all already know when I bring in family, we gonna have a good time. So me and this guest, we have a good time. Anyway, we just inviting y'all in. And we're inviting y'all in at a time that's perfect for whoever's listening at this time. Please know there are no coincidences. There are only ripples and breadcrumbs, meaning every day, all day, the breadcrumbs are already there, hidden in plain sight. The ripple is from me throwing a pebble in the pond, meaning doing anything new, different, and uncomfortable. I'm going to get something back. This guest has been pouring out from the beginning, and he hasn't stopped yet. The switch that he's made is, hold on, I can't give everybody everything and not give me nothing. Time out. And that switch brought a perspective, and that perspective created a different version of this brother. So we met at doing a podcast, another podcast with Moral House related to men's mental health. It's just me and him and the host, and we hop on the call and we speak in the same language. We going back and forth, and we just having a conversation. Although just met, we feel like family. I feel like this brother is cooking a steak on the grill, and I got the drinks ready for him when he get done. Like, it was just love from the beginning. And before I could even ask him to serve as a guest on the show, he asked me, yo, you got room? It was done in that moment. That's what this show is. This brother is bad. I'm talking about Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. Any MJ you know that's great, this is him. This brother is an ally, an advocate for mental health and wellness. He's a Black male who has been to therapy, who talks about therapy, who talks about his emotions and feelings. I need y'all to know, ladies, these brothers exist. I'm sorry, we exist in these streets, okay? So everybody ain't somebody. Everybody is this person, right? The best version of ourselves. This brother is a neurosequential sports specialist who specializes in helping himself while helping other people in different mediums that all connects to health and wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to introduce you to Mr. Brother Martin Sims. Welcome to the show, baby.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the introduction too. That's awesome.
Hey, I got you. I got you. So let's dive in. Neurosequential sports specialist. Let's start here.
Gotcha. Yeah. So back in 2020, I started this would have been maybe 6-7 months after my therapy started, maybe around that. So my therapy started with couples therapy with my wife, my therapist, preparing for a baby. And so I got into the neurosequential model by Dr. Bruce Perry, who wrote a book with Oprah called What Happened to You. And at that time, he hadn't wrote the book. He had another book by the name of The Boy That Was Raised as a Dog. And The Boy That Was Raised as a Dog goes over like 8 or 9 different scenarios of kids dealing with childhood trauma and what their outcomes were based on various environmental scenarios, who their caretakers were, how their caretakers dealt with them and whatnot. And so the neurosequential model started off in therapeutic spaces, it moved into foster homes, it moved into schools, and then it moved into sports. And it moving into sports kind of coincided with the timing in which I got introduced to the neurosequential model in the first place. So right around the time my son was born, I went ahead and started another AAU program in the middle of the lockdowns, I just had a baby and I just had my ACL surgery. So like I had an ACL surgery on a Friday, we started AAU on that Monday. And I'm on crutches, I got people helping me get into the gym, all that stuff. But this was gonna be my first time learning all of that stuff that I learned throughout therapy, me studying the neurosequential model. And then I got a chance to apply it after, I was in Houston, so the lockdowns wasn't as deep as it was in California, right? So we were able to do some teams, some things that if I was in California, we would not have been able to do. Mm-hmm. But in Texas, we were able to do it. And I started implementing neurosequential concepts to my team. And they responded great. Understand, they was already going through the pandemic and the lockdowns. They weren't having school at the time. And then there was the George Floyd scenario in which there was a lot of protests going on and a lot of things that they were now resonating with at the time. And so giving them certain tools to be able to regulate their nervous system, to be able to understand how to breathe, how to ground, how to, use affirmations. There was a lot of things that we implemented during that season that eventually the following year, the Junior NBA nominated their program for Program of the Year. And that was my
Yeah.
first program. So it was like, and coming off of ACL surgery with a baby that ain't even through 2 months old, trying to run a basketball season, my wife looking at me like, "What are you?" Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I had that prompt, and I listened to it and I followed it, and a year later, that put me into a national recognition for my first program that I ran by myself. Not by myself, I had a team, but that was my program, and
Mm-hmm.
so coincidentally enough, that was the same month that Dr. Perry wrote the book with Oprah. They released the What Happened to You book with Oprah, and I ended up, they caught wind of the nomination, and I ended up getting in the certification program that they had going. And that was awesome because I already had implemented a lot of the information that I knew. I did learn a lot more on the certification process, but I already had implemented things with the team, knew how it would resonate with certain athletes and whatnot. And it really, really resonated with one of my most dysregulated athletes. And probably, and as far as trophies is concerned, we didn't win as many trophies, we didn't play in as many tournaments that season, but I had a moment in one of our last tournaments where I called a timeout to calm my team and to run a play. And my most dysregulated athlete historically came to the huddle, got everybody huddled up, and they did some breath work exercise before I started talking. They
Yeah.
they don't have a trophy big enough for that moment for me
Wow.
in
Wow.
terms of something that I needed personally through therapy. I learned it and was able to apply it to my own life and then be able to share that with a team that I had been coaching for years. The pandemic gave it an opportunity for me to do it without the jurisdiction of another organization. And I could do it how I felt like what they needed, and it was what I needed. They just got it
Mm,
earlier than I needed. I got it when I was
mm.
33. They got it at 16, 17 years old. And
Wow.
so, and to see me not prompt that uh, breath work
Mm-hmm.
scenario, that was it for me. So I've been
Yeah.
sold since that moment
Yeah.
on who will gather this information or who it'll resonate with, and then they turn it into a practice. And so that was everything for me. Like I have trophies, I got medals, I got a lot of stuff. I call my medals wind chimes because I like not win like wins. There's wins
Yeah. I love it. I
together.
love it.
There's a lot of them, and
Yeah.
I was always competitive like that when I played. And I know I impart that into the teams that I play with, but it's not win at all costs. And so that's what I need the industry, this youth sports industry, to understand is like, like we're not trying to damage these kids for wins. And I see a lot of that. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm trying to disrupt. Like you could still win without damaging the kids in the process.
Ooh, wee, man. Oh, brothers, Martin, there's so many avenues we can go right now. Like there's so many streets, there's so many different directions, and all of them are good. All of them are good. Number one, thank you for sharing your authenticity, your transparency off the rip. To say I went to therapy. Went to therapy to prepare for a baby. Like I need you to hear what you're saying. I went to
Yeah.
therapy with my wife. We went to couples therapy to prepare for a baby. Come on. I need y'all to
Yeah.
hear this. You're talking about things that we as a community, as a culture, more often than not, don't talk about, don't do. So you did it. And I want to start there, but there's so many other ways I want to go. And I'm just going to share a couple of things and then you can decide which direction. So that's the first, just the conversation about therapy and to be confident and comfortable in sharing your truth and not worried about what anybody thinks, says, or whatever. That took you to become a different version of yourself to get there. That's one. Number two, emotional intelligence. You're displaying, you're teaching, you're showing, you're learning. You were a student first, then you became a teacher to these students in this arena. And obviously, facts and evidence, what you do, what you did had an impact way bigger than any trophy. That's number two. Number three, and I'm gonna shut up. One day, but not today. Number three, for you to again uh, have this passion to serve on crutches, ACL, newborn, regardless of what was going on for you at the time, you still were on a mission to serve. So those three lanes, we can go wherever, whenever, but that's what I want to dive into.
Okay. My my drive to serve is it's duality. It's both for me and for them. So when I was 14 years old, I was playing basketball. I was trying to become AI, I guess. Like I loved AI. I wanted to be Allen Iverson style player. Now I was always myself because that's what AI was about. Like you still had to be yourself, but uh, I wanted to play. And I was in the ninth grade. I had never made a team before, not a basketball team. I played soccer prior. And so that summer I built a basketball goal outside my mom's house. And
Wow.
we was practicing playing all the time. My house became the spot. And we had a headlight, like not a headlight, but a street light right in front of
Yeah.
my mom's house. So the sun going down didn't stop us from playing. It just made it a different game. It's a night game now, right? Like so, I had neighbors and they probably was like, man, they playing all night, right? And so that was that summer. I made the team in the ninth grade, but we still kept playing with the kids in the neighborhood. So right around Christmas, actually December 23rd, my neighbor who they was elderly couple, but not they weren't super elderly at the time. They had a son named 30. His name was Craig. He was 33 at the time. He comes outside and he's like, man, y'all young boys can't play no basketball. I'm like, man, bring your old self out here then. What's up? Talking noise, like, let's get it. And we played. He came out, he went to go get his brother. His brother came out. It was me and three of my friends. It was two of them. So I jumped on their team, play against my partners because I'm competitive. I want to smoke with whoever wants to smoke with me. Let's get it. And so I played on 18. I played with the old guys. And so, of course, 33 not old, but I'm 14 years old at the time. And we played the first game. My friends beat us the first game, and it wasn't close. It wasn't like they blew us completely out. We got some points, we got some stuff in, but it wasn't like that. Then the next game was a hard fought game. Like we played, it might have been to the end. When you got to deuce it up and like win by two type
Mm-hmm.
game like
Yeah.
that. Probably went back and forth to win by two, maybe three or four times before we actually won that game. So at the end of that game, we playing like everybody's tired. It's cold. It's probably like 40 degrees, cold enough to see your breath. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
type of temperature. It's 1-1. You know what's supposed to happen at this 1-1. I don't care what the temperature like. If we play these first two games and the score tied, or in the games are tied, we got to do a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Right before the tiebreaker, Craig had a heart attack,
Mm.
and then he passed at my house.
Wow.
And so I didn't take that well, and I had just met Craig that day. So
Mm.
he really came to my house on like the last 30, 45 minutes of his life.
Wow.
And I never was able to process that when I was in school. I never was able to process
Mm-hmm.
that as a 14-year-old. And I didn't know of an avenue that would have helped me at the
Mm-hmm.
time. There was no mental health talk other than if you go to the crazy house. There was no traumatic experience talk, no trauma informed schools. And so ultimately academic problems became behavior problems became I'm going to multiple different schools. I ended up going to 4 different high schools, and I never graduated from any of them. But I felt like I could have been a valedictorian at all of them had I
Mm.
had the support or whatever that was different for what I needed. And I also,
Yeah.
so by the time I got to that therapist, that was 19 years later.
Mm.
So I had to process a lot of things that I had to come up with myself. And if I didn't have the drive that I had just to not be a statistic, and I can go into that statement right there at a different time, but I didn't want to be what the environment was pointing me to.
Yeah.
And so, just that determination took me down a lot of different paths that, might have been dead ends, but they wasn't, I wasn't gonna be dead in the end,
Yeah.
right? Like they
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily for me, but I didn't know what they were. I was a dropout. But I wanted to play ball, so eventually I did get a scholarship. I had to get my GED. I played in college,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like my second chance. And I took that a lot more serious than I took being in high school, because I felt like I was just mad in high school because there was no understanding. There was just not a lot of support for that, and so I
Mm-hmm.
was just managing, just trying to go along to get along, but it never really been my personality. So I had to keep moving around because if it turned like a behavior problem, or somebody look at you like you're an academic problem or a behavior problem, they treat you as such. And I ain't never been one to like just take disrespect, or like when people talk down on you, or even the little slick slide comments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know what you're saying, I know what you're doing. So, sometimes it just turn you into like being insubordinate. You get these labels, and you get these scenarios in which they try to label you, say where you're gonna go and stuff like that. And I just denounced all that. And even though I didn't graduate high school, that wasn't gonna be the end of my story.
Yeah.
And it's not. And now it's like it's much a part of why I do what I do. So when we go back to like I'm doing stuff for myself, therapeutically, me coaching kids is always therapy for me. I always
Mm.
catch them at 14. It's always something that whatever I could get him is like I'm giving it to myself. Like I walk
Ooh.
around with my 14-year-old self all day. Like me and
Ooh.
him, we tight. And
Yeah.
I'm who he needed. That's who I
Yeah.
became, like who
Yes.
he needed at the time. And coincidentally enough, he who I need right now.
Ooh, ooh, Martin. Martin, come on now. Listen, you a guest. You can't come in here turning tables over, kicking your feet up, taking your shoes off,
Yeah,
F your couch. Like, come on. To the listeners, I
yeah,
told y'all what
yeah.
was gonna happen. I told y'all what was gonna happen. And Martin is dropping some gems, some breadcrumbs. I hope you're paying attention because he's talking about things that's advanced when it comes to perspective, in my humble opinion. Because the conversation that we're having and what he's sharing, a lot of people have never said because they've never seen what he saw, what he's experienced, and what he's talking about. And because of the work that he did on himself, he has a different perspective and lived experience that you could learn from based off of what's being shared. So these mirrors, I want to dive into because now we're finna go in the basement. And for those who know that listen to the show, there's three levels, three layers of our house, and everybody got a house. Okay, you're born in one. House you in now is the reason. The house that you live in now, the reason that this is the house you live in now, because the house you grew up in. Somebody do something with that. Okay. Whatever it is, it's because of the house you grew up in. So in the literal home is one thing. The figurative home, three levels, three layers. The attic, the living room, the basement. Attic, where you spend your most time, that's in your mind. Living room is where you are presently. And then the basement, we don't really go down there. It's dark, it's scary, it's trauma, it's drama, it's things that happen between you and your mama. We put it in the basement, lock it up. Martin has already opened the door for us to be in the basement. So that's where we are right now. Let's talk about it. You mentioned you are who you needed at 14, and now who you are now, that 14-year-old, you need him. Tell us about it. What is this?
Yeah, I knew a lot at 14 that I feel like society wasn't ready for, because I saw that and I had to process that myself and try as much as I could. But I knew things that were knowings that I ain't even knew I knew. And so when I would face pushback from whether it was administrators, teachers, or whatnot, like I had a knowing that now I know I had a knowing. But when there was pushback, I felt like maybe they right, maybe that's me tripping. Like, and so like going back to 14-year-old me is me knowing that I knew then and
Ooh,
trusting my intuition then over institutions that never had my best interest at heart in the first place. Like I always say they got a school to prison pipeline, but what are the other pipelines that you can guarantee? Nobody argues with a school to prison pipeline. When you say it, it's like guaranteed. Like, we know that's true. It's not a theory. It's a school to prison pipeline. I say, okay, so what are the other pipelines? What are the other things that are designed for me to go to if I'm gonna get to do something in life? Like, we giving life sentences to kids at 18 years old. What are we giving? What are the other pipelines that we like, okay, this is the path that you on and you're gonna be good in this space? Ain't no other ones. Ain't no pipeline to be no teacher. It ain't a pipeline to be a therapist. You had to carve that path out. You know what I mean? To be in that space. This is something you had to just decide and go in that direction. But it ain't no already set tracks for that in a way for us. I'm saying, like, not saying it ain't out there, but for us, like, the school to prison pipeline that built for others is built for us. Like, what else is built for us? And so, like, when I say that, I knew at 14 that sister wasn't for me. And so now that I know that, I know it as an adult, but I knew it at 14. I couldn't articulate it at 14. And so I need to understand my knowing of what I knew at 14 before I actually knew it and could articulate it. So now I show up with, like, I've been knowing this for longer than you think. This is beyond my certifications. This is beyond my education. This is an inner knowing that literally trumps what you think validates it.
Whew. Ooh, you speaking. I hope y'all catching on. We in the basement, okay? This is deep stuff. And if it's not connecting, you haven't been able to go deep enough. If you are connecting and this hits, this lets you know you're on the best track. I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think it's best. And what's best is what's best for you. And what Martin is talking about is specifically he curated this perspective that works best for him. And I hope y'all picking up the breadcrumbs related to what he needed, what he didn't, what he knew but didn't trust because he didn't have evidence. Now, fast forward, we got facts, baby. we got facts, and it's hard to dispute facts. You ain't gotta like them, but you can't change them. They're facts. So now I want to switch the mirror to the other side related to you've been giving this 14-year-old all the juice. Now this 14-year-old is pouring into you. What does that look like?
It looked like regulation. It looked like compassion. It looked like uh it looked like something looking up to me, right? Someone looking up to me, and like, I trust you with what I got going on. Like, I trust you with what I know. And so that's what I feel like resonates when I deal with the kids that I deal with, when I deal with the parents that I deal with, who's dealing with kids that are going through some of the things, when I talk to coaches, and, like, you know, I just see the kid who, when they ask me when I took my GED test and scored off the charts on it, they like, why you ain't graduate high school? And that kid, well, I was probably like 18, 19 at that time. When I answered the question, I always say it's a long story, and I leave it at that. But I didn't have the words, I didn't have the language, I couldn't articulate it, I didn't have the understanding at that time to go anything beyond it's a long story. And so now that I can speak it, I speak for what I couldn't speak for at the time. And so, yeah, my 14-year-old still trusts me in that. And I don't take that trust lightly. And I don't feel like at 14 I trusted all that much, because not a lot of people could even hold space for that. So I didn't share anything. So what I'm talking about right now, I probably went 15 years without ever saying it to anybody. I talked to my mentor 2 hours ago, who was with me pretty much through until I left Mississippi to go to Atlanta. He was my mentor, and he just told me, when I told him this story, that he knew nothing about it. I didn't tell anybody. So, and I even unpacked that. I didn't tell nobody because I felt guilty about it. And so, why do I feel guilty? Because everybody could, if I told somebody about it and I told them I was guilty about it, oh, that's not your fault. And I understand it. That's a logical thought. But the emotional thoughts and the emotional feelings behind it was like, listen, I know it ain't my fault, but I did tell them to come out there, right? And I did he did come out there on my prompt, and he never went back in the house. So his 2-year-old son never saw him again. And when I saw his 2-year-old son, yes, I felt guilty about that,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and it ain't because I did something, but that don't mean that I didn't feel the feeling of I'm somewhat responsible for this outcome because I was in it and I couldn't take myself out of it. It was my
Mhm.
house, my goal, my goals. So there was some questions that popped up in my mind way before I got to therapy. Like one was, uh, why would he come to my house to die?
Ooh. Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like I never met him before, and I
Yeah.
sat with that for 19 years. Like, why would he come to my
Mm.
house to die? Like, why would somebody like I never met in my life spend his last 30, 45 minutes with me? That was a haunting question. Now
Mm.
it's not a haunting question. It's a calling question. I understand why would he come to my house to die? Now I get it. Like I was supposed to unpack it. I was supposed to unpack it for myself, a spiritual, ethereal way that he or his spirit or a larger thing out there, whatever the coincidences, like you said, there are no coincidences. So if there are no coincidences, there must be some purpose behind this, and I gotta figure that out. And he must have known some kind of inner
Mm.
knowing that he had to have known that I'm gonna walk this earth for 33 years, and at the end, I'm gonna give it to somebody who's gonna find something to do with it.
Ooh. Oh my God, Martin. Ah, man, I done warned you. Okay. I'm finna kick you off the show. I warned you. I'm finna, I'm finna pack you up. You finna go. Martin, man, thank you. Thank you, man. This means the world to me. I'm getting emotional myself, processing it with you, because this is what masculinity looks like that we never had an opportunity to be exposed to until we became that person ourselves. And I hear you, I feel you, I'm with you. And the pain, the guilt, the shame, the judgment, like to carry the weight of the loss of someone at 14. And, mentally, what we think is very different at 14 than at 34. And to carry that for as long as you did, and it didn't break you, it made you into the man that you are now, which I value, love, cherish, and respect, because you may not have been this version of you without that.
Not at all. That
And what I go ahead, go ahead.
nah, I just felt like that was where the calling started. I just didn't know. It just used to be like, why would he come to my house? Right. And so like now, once I was able to alchemize the thought, the question never changed. It's just like it just was always an unanswered question. And now
Mm,
it's not. I get it. And I mean, I've been able to process this in some beautiful ways. Like
yeah.
uh how many people get a chance to play ball with their guardian angel? Like
Ooh, ooh.
so
That's
it,
it. We're the show's over. Martin,
yeah.
you
So
you just dropping gems, man. It's real. It's so honest and it's so real. And it required you becoming a different version of you to have this knowledge that many people currently don't have and haven't been able to develop related to somebody that's still here.
yeah.
Like, man, you on a whole nother level. And I'm thankful to share you because I mean, again, barbecue and drink. So we already there, but just bringing everybody else in, man, and you're bringing you to the table, which gives people permission to do the same thing. And again, what I love about this, it's, for many of us, we have very black and white views, black and white things, very polarized. And what I hear from you, that 14-year-old version of you, which is understandable, polarized, it's only one way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this side of you, because I keep hearing it, not only is there a different way, there's multiple ways to look at this, to think about it, to process, to create a new narrative or idea or identity. How the hell did you become this version of you to have that? Martin, this is your norm. I need you to know that. This is your norm. This is not the norm. And I need you to know that. So how? How'd you get here?
Uh I got here because when she got pregnant and I knew I was gonna have a baby boy, then that came back up. And so
Mm,
I watched the kid grow up without his father and I felt responsible for that. And so that means I know there's a reality that anything can happen, and my son could do the same thing, could go through the same scenario. And
Mm-hmm.
so I needed to build myself up beyond being, like I feel like I probably experienced my parents' traumas that they didn't resolve. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to resolve my own. I did recognize when I turned 33, I had triggers around my 33rd birthday that I never experienced around my birthday. I experienced them around the date that it happened, the anniversary trigger. But my birthday, turning 33, was like rough. In my
Yeah.
33rd year, okay,
Mm-hmm.
they bring up all kinds of stuff. Jesus in the Jesus year, right? Like he died at
Mm-hmm.
33. Okay, cool. I wasn't resonating with that. But then Nipsey got killed. He was
Mm-hmm.
33. I was 33. We the same age. I'm doing the same thing. The day Nipsey got killed, I'm running a basketball camp and running the same type of mission that I felt Nip was on. And then it was a couple other deaths that year. And then the day before I turned 34, Kobe passed. All
Mm.
this new like early death scenario, like I had to constantly deal with that through the 33rd year. But I was in therapy too. And so when Kobe passed, I ran a junior NBA skills challenge, and we did a Kobe tribute, and we let the kids process their grief on paper, explain what they want, like how they was gonna keep the legacy alive. So by the time, even while I was still 33 and just turned 34, I had already been able to start coming up with solutions and things that could allow for a scenario like that for us to be able to process. And now again, like I said, like I became what I needed, and then I knew
Mm.
what was needed because I had to deal with it for so long. Like when I finally started getting solutions and finally started getting uh things that I could use, things that I could do, practices I could put into place. Then when something new came up, I knew what to tell people because I'm like, look, bro, this is what helped me, and this is what I could share with you. And you're gonna have to do what you do with it yourself because I can't do it for you. Now I was a personal trainer, so I tell all my clients, like, I can't run a lap for you, I can't lift a weight for you, I can't lose a pound for you. I can guide you, but you got to do every single thing that needs to be done in order for you to get the outcome that you want. And that's the same thing in the mental health space. Like I could walk you through it, I could show you what to do, but my rep that I use to show you gonna make me stronger.
Mm.
It ain't gonna make you stronger. So even me demonstrating what I'm demonstrating to you, that's for me. When you take what I give you, you got to use it so it can be for you. But I can't do that for you. And
That's right.
so that means therapists don't cure people's situations. They are guides. And so like you just got to become the hero in your own story. And I'm the hero. I've been my villain. I've been the villain. I've
Yes,
been
indeed.
I was the villain that thought I was the hero. I'm the one that, you know what I'm saying? The reason I feel like I'm doing this villainous stuff is because I'm hurt. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to, I'm really trying not to blow up. So
Yeah.
everything that I'm doing and everything I'm trying to do is to keep from crashing out, is what they say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I felt like I was able to do that. And I had, yeah, I probably crashed out a couple times too. Like,
Balance, baby. You gotta have a
I
balance.
probably did, but no, not enough to like trick myself off the streets.
Yeah.
And so I still kept a level head and as much as I could, I think, and I struggled in a lot of places. I did
Mm.
for a long time. But at the same time, I never gave up. I'm here for a reason. There's some
Yeah.
purpose to the things that have happened, and God gave me a lot of gifts.
Yeah.
I know I got a lot of gifts. I can articulate myself. I process what it is, and I'm a learner. I'm like a
Yeah.
really strategic learner. So the more that I'm given to process, the more it's gonna come out on the back end after I alchemize it, so to speak.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So I got another question, and then we're gonna get out the basement because we've been here most of the show, which is fine. I love it.
Yeah,
Please, believe, because our basement is finished. Okay,
got
we down here playing pool right now.
it. So
So I'm curious, man, because I keep hearing it because I'm aware of it, but a lot of us, specifically as Black men are not aware. And that awareness that I'm noticing from you is your emotional intelligence. So not only have you grown from 14 to 34, your emotional intelligence has grown as well. And now you're in a place where you manage it so well, you can give it to others. And it doesn't take long. Like you said with the kid, um, you have a gift, you have an ability, and you have a way to pour into people where it don't take them long to get to, where it may have taken us long to get to a place. So how did you develop this and how do you maintain it? Because again, the crash out life is real, but more often than not, you don't because you know how to manage. So how did you do that? And how could you help other black men who've never even heard this concept before?
Well, I think emotional intelligence, for me, this is my definition. This you can't go read it nowhere. I think emotional intelligence is the awareness of the emotions. So being able to
Woo.
name something, right? So if I like, look, I'm angry because X, Y, Z. That's
Mhm.
emotional intelligence. Emotional regulation is a practice. So I could say
Come
I'm
on.
angry and this is why I'm angry, but I could still crash out even knowing that I can name my anger.
Oh man, time out. All right, so I think I'm gonna start doing pink slips and just write, just gonna write,
Yeah,
just gonna write them because again, this is your norm, but this is not the norm, man. I need you to know that because you just taught somebody something that's gonna change their life forever.
right,
I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard, and you know exactly what I mean by that because you've done it.
right.
And just real quick, because I want to hone in on this moment because what you're talking about with emotional intelligence keeps you safe. And that safety for us, specifically for black men, is, the stereotype related to anger. And we're trying to overcome that and the barrier. So it's a lot of layers related to anger. And the core of a lot of anger is what you talked about, that hurt, the pain, the fear, and all these other things. But that's beneath the surface. That's beneath the surface. If I can't get there, all I can get to is anger because I wasn't aware. And
Mhm.
what you're talking about keeps us alive, keeps us safe, keeps us out of jail, keep our hands off of somebody's neck. keep it keep us in. It manages us when we're dealing with other people and their stuff and you're talking about it, man, and you're normalizing it, and that's why I want to take a moment to process it and highlight it because we don't. And another layer of this, as a father myself, you're teaching your kid this now, just like I'm teaching my boys now. I'm still learning. I'm still learning, but I'm teaching them something that my father didn't have the capacity to teach me.
Okay.
He was capable. All of our dads were capable, but they may not have had the capacity. That's mental. And
Mhm.
that's what you're talking about. So all the work that you've done is now a legacy that you're pouring. This is changing generational curses, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. Man, you have blessed me. Listen to the listeners. I don't know about y'all, but I've been blessed. I've been blessed. Make sure you mention your cash app before we get out of here. So I want to switch gears. I want to get out the basement because we can be here all day. And I appreciate you being willing to go down here with me. I do want to go back. I want to go to the kitchen or upstairs. Now we in the backyard. We having our little barbecue. So we're gonna lock up the basement, go to the backyard. I'm curious. I got a few rapid fire questions. I'm curious to learn, especially from where you were to where you are now. What would you say you've learned about people, and what would you say you learned about yourself?
I learned about people is, everybody walking their own path and in their own space, wherever you meet them. And, you know, there's some people that met me in the past that don't have this version of me. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So they met me before I was able to process these things, before I was able to learn the definitions, before I was able to become emotionally intelligent. And they probably, this an angry child. I used to hear that. I don't know why he's so angry. And
mm,
then what I learned about myself is I just got to keep growing. And
mm,
the challenges, I say alchemy for a reason. Like there's a way to turn lead to gold. There's a way to turn adversity to advantages. And that's the type of time I'm on. Like, I feel like whatever happened, if as long as I got breath, I can turn it into gold, no matter what it
Mm.
is. And I do understand that there's not an instantaneous process all the time. Sometimes it is, but I'll process it, and I give myself time to process. That's what I know about myself. Like, people need an answer from me today, I'll tell you tomorrow.
Mm. Come on, boundaries. Come on, boundaries.
Yeah, like, and they're serious, and like, boundaries, right? Like, and just like,
Mhm.
okay, I need time and space to get the right answer before that you need an answer today. Like, you just need an answer today, but I know it's not. This is false pressure. It's your anxiety is not mine. And so
Yep.
let me so before you make me anxious, let me decide that tomorrow, and I give you a better decision versus me just hurrying up give you an answer that I haven't processed myself, and then tomorrow I gotta change my mind and I done put my foot in my mouth or then committed to something that I don't really want to do. And
Yeah.
so I rather I tell you tomorrow, and that prevents me from just telling you no up front.
Come on. Come on. You dropping gems. Again, this is life-changing information, y'all. Dive in. This is next level. And if you do not have a place to write it, the Gator Skills Journal is available for you right now on Amazon. Pick it up. So, next question. Diving in. I'm curious to know I'm sorry, what's a word, phrase, memory, or moment that has stuck with you personally or professionally?
I'm glad you asked because I told you I was going to tell you about this.
Oh, let's get it.
I told about statistics, right? So my
Hmm.
last day of high school, uh, because I ain't graduate, I just stopped going, right? On my last high school, I had a teacher who told me that I needed her class to graduate, and she wasn't gonna do nothing to help me graduate. So, she was like, "You're just gonna have to come back next year." And I told her, "I'm not coming back next year." And she was like, "Oh, so you're just gonna become a statistic?" And I mean, look, I don't know how your situation gonna be, but in my heart of hearts, she had me fucked up, and I never was gonna become a statistic. And I'm glad she said that because I don't think it's been a word, phrase, or whatever that has stuck with me long enough to just somebody that's just antagonizing me and don't know what's going on, don't know the situation, don't know nothing about me, but gonna project that type of energy on me and I mean it. Like, you got me fucked up. I ain't gonna never be a statistic. So when I came into the ACEs study and what the ACEs became as far as adverse childhood experiences, and when you get to that magic number 4 and everything starts skyrocketing, I'm like, shit, the thing that happened to me wasn't on the list. That's the worst
Mm.
thing that happened. It wasn't even on the list. So I had my ACEs number plus the worst thing that I seen. And so I'm gonna be a statistic. I'm not. I'm not. And so for anybody that think that or had that type of energy, like they could just project how this gonna go because I don't agree with them, or my path ain't the one that they think I'm supposed to go down. And yeah, that statement, like, ain't nobody said nothing positive to me that turned me up like that one did. Like, and that's 21 years ago. And I
Wow.
show statistics. I got something. I got report
Wow.
cards that we can show stats right now. And I never mind you, that was a Spanish class. I lived in Mexico for 3 years. My son bilingual. Who you talking to?
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
And that lady could walk past me. That lady could walk past me today, and I won't know who she was from a can of paint. So I'm talking about the energy. I ain't talking about her. I blessed her a long time ago. She all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that energy,
Yeah.
not even. So
Wow. Wow.
that,
Oh.
I say that to heaven and hell, whoever and whichever one of them. I mean that.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All of it. All of it. And I'm going to speak life. Ripple and Breadcrumb. She's going to hear this.
Mm,
She's going to hear it. I'm going to
mm,
speak it. We'll never know, but I'll speak it. You know,
mm.
why not? You said this energy. I'm going to speak this energy. She going to
I,
hear it. She going to know.
I
She going to
love
know for sure, man. I appreciate you sharing that. Couple more questions and we going to get out of here. I'm
it.
curious, because you shared so much, so many gems, so many jewels. I'm curious to know what's an interesting fact about you that most people wouldn't know or they wouldn't believe. Uh-oh.
People that don't know me outside of like people that know me know me. Like, I wear basketball
Yeah.
shorts every day. It don't matter what I got on. Like I got a pair of basketball. So people that know me know that. Like
Yeah.
if you ask somebody that already know me, they know. But yeah, I wear everything. Like that's gonna be the name of one of my books: Basketball Shorts Under Tuxedo.
Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot. I
Yeah,
want the first copy autographed.
definitely, definitely. But
Love it.
it's really that book is gonna be going into regression.
Mm,
And if you ever seen like the Sixth Sense,
yeah.
where on the movie, you know, he passed or whatever, but everything he wore throughout the time was something that he wore on the day that he
Mm,
actually passed. And so
yeah.
that's like the premise of it, because
Mm,
the basketball shorts really just represent the time before everything like wasn't normal to me. You know what
yeah.
I mean? And so like it's some type of way, and I get some fire basketball shorts. Don't get me wrong, I'm fresh, but you know, for some reason, it's very, very comforting to me. And
Yeah.
I'll be 40 on my next birthday, and
Yeah.
I ain't gonna grow out of it. I ain't.
Yeah. I
It's
love it.
just something that I'm just going. And the people that know, and the people
Yeah.
that don't, they gonna find out on this, right?
I love it. I love it, man. I love it. And what's wild about this, we've never met in person. Like we've never been in the same room, never touched each other's skin, never breathed the same air. But this connection is like, man, we've been family for years. And this basketball short story connects to me because I feel the same way about Jordan shoes. So
Mm,
I got, several pair, but I wear them to pay homage to who I was at 17.
mm,
Because for me, the highest level of success in my family was graduating high school. That was it. And I didn't really care about school. I didn't care about high school, anything like that. What I cared about was a pair of shoes I couldn't afford. Jordan 11s specifically. Black and white, patent leather. You already know, right?
we got the
Couldn't afford them.
same. Go ahead.
Come
Mine was
on.
the Space Jam.
Again,
Mine was the Space Jams.
come on. I told you we
Same,
family.
same number. Same number. Mine was the Space Jam. And when I was an adult, I wrote a bad check to get them.
Come on.
Like matter of fact, I had to pay that. I probably ended up paying like 250 for a pair of shoes that was 120 because I just couldn't let the day go by without having them as an
Facts.
adult.
These are facts.
And
These are
so
facts.
I needed that to happen because I had a crazy Jordan collection. And I felt like one of the reasons why I was able to kind of release that was once I realized it was just because I couldn't get them.
Yep. These are facts. These are
Just because
facts.
I couldn't get them. And
Yep. And
everybody walked in, they was fresh.
you
Ooh, man.
knew, you knew, you knew. Whenever
The
they drop,
the
you
11s,
already knew. Come
that
on. And,
that's
and here's the thing for me, again, I feel like we went to the same high school too. So same for me. Like you already know who finna come to school with them because they coming late. You
no
already know. You already know when they drop. So for me, knowing I was at school early like everybody else, you knew I didn't have them. And I knew the people who was going to show up with them. And
facts.
it was a moment, man. And that's culture. That's culture
That's
where
facts.
those particular pair for me has always been the one. There's others, but that's always been the one because that was the height of my awareness of achievement. Like
Yeah.
that was the goal. I didn't care about college. Damn, sure not a PhD. I know
Right, right. Oh, facts.
diploma, none of that. I just wanted the shoes. So several years later, when I finally got my PhD, not finally, when I got my PhD, I bought them and I had to
Mm,
buy them from, because I had to get the
mm,
original. So you already know. So I
yeah.
had to pay like a couple car notes to get it, but I had it at the time. I have it. And I rocked the shoes with my academic regalia, which broke the internet.
Come
Broke the
here.
internet. I broke
Yes,
the damn internet, right?
yes.
And nobody understood it but those who understood it. And most of the people that understood it was in a section in Auburn Arena with signs. Everybody had J's on, my entire family. The blackest thing at Auburn at the time. That was the loudest when I crossed the stage. No one, I didn't care about nobody in the arena but my family. And they
Yep.
were the blackest folks there. And everybody had J's on to commemorate who I was, believing that I could never accomplish what I did. So I didn't think I was smart enough. And to prove that to myself, I went and got a PhD and rocked the J's with it. So again,
Man,
Martin, we family, bro.
I
We
love it.
family. We
Love
family.
it.
So
Love it.
I gotta get you out of here because you got shit to do. Always got shit to do. So next question. Two more. Well, one question, and then I want to offer a keepsake. So if you were to describe, you can use one word or you can go deep, your choice. But if you were to describe the Martin from who you were to who you are and who you're becoming, how would you describe those three individuals?
Okay, so who I was hurt and confused. Who I am, uh, like okay, so all three of these are dope, right? Like every let me go
I'm
and
with the
say this.
disclaimer. I'm with
Let me,
it.
let me go and say that. So right now, like I got a lot more clarity and a lot more understanding of where I'm going and what it is that I'm trying to do. And then who I'm becoming is just gonna be more of what I'm doing now is just gonna be duplicated more in terms of
Shit.
like the people that I get involved with or people that I interact with, the people that's not coincidences that cross paths with me that looking for what I got or trying to find themselves, so to speak. Like they're gonna resonate and they're gonna find what they're looking for. And so that's how I can describe the future version of me. And the future version of me is really like laying the foundation for there to be more pathways. So when I ask that question about what are the other pipelines, it's a rhetorical question to me because I'm building the other pipelines into the other spaces intentionally.
Come on. Come on, man. I'm sick of you. I'm glad you finna get off this damn show. I'm sick of your ass, Martin.
Yeah.
I'm sick of you. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for blessing us. So the last thing is now a keepsake. You've offered so much on this episode. And now, if you could offer some life work, because on this show, we don't do homework. Homework, you take it home, you do it, never remember it again. We do life work. Life work is if I take this nugget, this gem, this jewel, this breadcrumb, it can create a pivot in my life that can change my life forever. So if you had some life work to offer to the audience, to the listeners, what would it be?
So I'm a bar. This not gonna just be mine. This is from Dr. Bruce Perry, the person that came up with the neurosequential model. He got this sequence of engagement, and it's regulate, relate, reason, and that's the three R's. But it's four is regulate, relate, reason, reflect. And so that goes through the sequences of the brain. And you start at the brain stem. You need to regulate that. You need to relate to who you're talking to. Then you can reason with them, and then you can reflect. But as long as you're dealing with somebody that's in their brain stem, you not gonna be able to reason with them, and it's gonna make frustrating for both of y'all. So if you can, and regulation takes practice. You gotta understand what regulation is. Basically, getting yourself back to a baseline where you can have a conversation, and if you can't regulate yourself, call time out. Call time
Man,
out.
I'm sick of you. Because right now I see you with a Jordan warm up on the floor with the whistle calling the timeout.
Yeah.
We're done. Let's chill, chill. And you saved a life. You saved
And in
several lives
sports,
because of
and
that.
in sports, we got timeouts, and like in life, we don't take timeouts, right? Like it's one of those things that like timeouts really don't last for 60 seconds. That's a full timeout. A lot of times we call a half or what they call a 20-second timeout or a 30-second timeout, and either way, my thing is like timeout flows. You need to have something that you can do in 30 to 60 seconds that can get you back to a certain baseline that you can re-engage. But it's a reason they call timeout. The momentum is going against you, and like emotional momentum is happening in games. We understand that in sports, and the emotions ain't just the players on the court; it's also the people that's in the environment around you, and you need to stop that momentum, and that's what timeouts do. So when I say regulate, relate, reason, reflect, the timeout is to regulate. The timeout is to regulate.
Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. Man, you have blessed me. You have blessed me. I don't even want you to leave, but I know I need to get you out of here. I know that.
I
So
appreciate.
if since we on the bar, we on the yard at the barbecue. If people want to connect with you, if people want to build with you, if people want to see what you're doing, where you at, product services you offer, how can they connect with you and how can they get a piece of what you offer?
I'm on everything: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It's the same moniker. It's the dopest coach, and yeah, THEDOPEST coach, COACH. the dopest coach at YouTube. All of I ain't got a lot of content on YouTube, and I don't really have a lot of content on TikTok. But if you want to follow me on there, you can contact me on all the socials at that. And if you want to follow my personal IG, that's called Sip On It. SIPONIT.
Done and done. Y'all got access now. Okay. So anybody that I have access to, especially those on the show, I offer an opportunity for you to have access. He just gave you full access. That's not the norm. And that's for now because there's going to come a time where you won't have access. I'm going to have access, but y'all might not. But anyway, there's that. So as we close out, man, I love giving flowers to my guest. And man, I appreciate you so much for being you. I value you. I cherish you. We knew from that moment of that podcast that led to this podcast that's going to lead to whatever that we're supposed to do together because we're building, we're helping each other, we're helping other people. So we're going to continue to do that. And I love you for exactly who you are. This is emotional intelligence in real time for those listening. And we are two black men and we're confident within ourselves where we can just be us. And hopefully this episode gives you all permission to do the same. And Martin, I want to offer you a couple of things because it's on my head, it's on my heart. You can do whatever you want to do with it. And you don't have to answer at this time if you're not ready. But two things. First, I want to add another narrative to the scenario of the 14-year-old boy because you have plenty of them that keeps you alive. Another one I want to add, processing it in real time. As you said, this 33-year-old man may have known. And for me, what I picked up was he left doing what he loved and giving and serving. And he didn't pass in his own home with his partner and his child. He went to a place that was safe, that took care of him. That was your home, man. That was your home. He's on your couch when you just bust him, bust him on the court. But I'm still going to bring you into my home because it's a bigger game that we playing.
He was on
And
my team. I don't want to cut you out, but he was on my team, and I alluded to the guardian angel situation, but he was like, I don't know if he ever shot a shot.
ooh, ooh, I needed that. I needed
He
that.
he,
I
he
needed
uh
that.
he got rebounds. It was me and his brother. He got rebounds. He set screen. And so
Wow.
what I look at that is like, okay, not only did I get to hoop with my guardian angel, he he's a very selfless guy.
Come
Like very,
on.
very selfless. Like, and
Come
I
on.
I always said even then and now, like I judge people on the basketball court. I can tell you if I'm gonna be able to do business with you, we're gonna be friends or not. I can just tell you how I break the game, whether I'm gonna be
Yeah.
able to rock with you or not. And
Mm,
he, I mean, I could just still see him getting rebounds and passing me the ball, passing his brother the ball, coming setting the screen. So it's like opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Like he's using all his strength. He used the last bit of his life to give me another opportunity.
come on.
So yeah, like
Come on. I
I I,
love it.
I got I've had to process a lot of it. So I appreciate that, and I definitely do feel that way. Right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, in all honesty, like he knew
Yeah.
all of those things, like all of that knowledge, all of that wisdom, like that inner spiritual knowing, the intuition of knowing he knew. And that was that was a blessing to me. And I'm in this neurosequential. Let me tell you something. I
Yeah.
haven't really had a conversation with his son.
Yeah.
Uh, but his son right now is doing a residency at the University of Cincinnati in their neurology
Mm.
department.
Ooh.
And so
Ah. Okay.
I think
You
something else coming out of that. And this year is 25 years since it happened. So December will be the 25th anniversary of the scenario. And yes, I think this story is still writing itself. You know what I
yes,
mean?
indeed.
And
Yes,
so
indeed.
there's
Yes.
there's something about that day, that night that just is a catalyst for some big things. And I'm just glad God wrote me into the story.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it goes.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna keep dropping gems because you keep dropping gems. And thank you for bringing that to my attention. And I missed a piece of that story, and I'm glad you clarified it. Again, this is boundaries. Hold on, let me make sure we speak in the
Yeah.
same language. So I value that. And I appreciate the call in. Like, hey, let me make sure you know. So two more challenges. Um, it just came up in real time. You still kept up with the kid. You've been watching, and I would challenge you because I hear your future self whispering to you currently. Reach out and connect. That introduction could be this episode. You don't have to say anything. You can put it in his lap, and from there you can decide what to do. That's one. Number two, and this is for you. You can answer on the air or you can take it with you. I would challenge you to attract or find or get or gather something tangible to give to your 14-year-old self, whatever that is, whatever that is. So I say that because for me, I didn't know this myself, but and when we meet in person, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. So I've been known to be a great hugger. Never knew it was a thing, but I hug, right? So I'm dap you up, hug, one arm, whatever. I did that for years. And then pandemic happened. I didn't hug anybody besides my wife and kids for a few years. When we was back outside, I'm two arm bear hugging. I don't care who you are. You can be an infant. I'm squeezing. You can be 85. I'm squeezing, right? And I got a new therapist doing some different work. Another story for another day. Um, and this therapist was doing EMDR with me. And we were going on a journey together. And she went down in my basement with me and she asked me like, "What's coming up for you? Just this guided journey." And I'm like, "I don't know, but I wouldn't plan on coming down here today. Like I was I was chilling in the living room. Why you got me in the basement?" And she was like, "It's something that you need to know." And I'm like, "Okay." And she walked me through it and she said, "What do you see?" And I said, "I keep seeing the number 12." She said, "What does it relate to?" I'm like, "I don't know." And I'm down in the basement, eyes closed, meditating, processing with her. And she said, "What else do you see?" And I said, "It's this little boy." She said, "What is he doing?" He's sitting in the corner, kind of balled up, got a little jogging suit, a little jumpsuit on, but he's not looking up. His arms are folded, and he's just sitting in his corner. And she said, "What does that mean?" And it hit me that number 12 represented the age of this little boy. That was my 12-year-old self, cowering, needing something. And she asked, "What does he need?" And I broke down. And I walked over to him, and she said, "Give him whatever he needs." And I said, "He needed a hug." And I hugged him by hugging my current self. And man, it took me to a place of healing I never thought I could experience, and explained why I hug the way I hug is because that's what I needed, but I'm giving it to everybody else. Until now, Martin, I'm hugging for me. You get the benefit. Your 14-year-old self, Martin, he needs something tangible. Give it to him. Give it to him. Anything else you want to share before we get out of here?
Nah, but we gonna go into that, you and I. Um, I'm just blessed to be here. I appreciate you for having me. I Of course this was some therapeutic stuff. I got a session from you. Uh, uh, yeah, so this has been wonderful because I've done podcasts, I've talked about this, I've talked about various things, but it ain't the same.
Yeah.
This is different. I could, you know, it's not a lot of us in this
Yes.
space. And
Yes,
so
indeed.
a lot of times I share it, but it won't really come off as uh how it can come off here because we in the
Yeah.
backyard. We at the barbecue, and all that. You don't know me like that, but that resonate with me so much. Like it really does. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, I can't wait. You stay where I frequent. So
That you already know. You already know.
yeah.
So this is the facts. This is the evidence. This is confirmation of what we already knew before we
Mhm,
even got here. We already knew. And that's energy, that's vibe, that's to simplify it. When you're doing a lot of work on yourself, it's easy to connect and attract with other people that's doing the same.
mhm,
When you're doing a lot of garbage, eating it, drinking it, everything, talking it, you're gonna get a lot of garbage. When you're
yeah,
giving and offering a lot of love and serving, because that's how we met by serving.
yeah.
It's automatic. So I can't wait to the real barbecue. I'm gonna give you two big big ass 2 arm hug from a
Yeah,
silverback gorilla.
yeah.
Hugging you up, dap you up because this is love and this is what love looks like in real time. So I appreciate you being here. Sending all my love to you, your family, the team, all the teams, all the things that you're doing. Y'all better catch this guy now. I'm telling y'all better catch. He mentioned Oprah. Okay, he didn't go into details, but he mentioned her. This has been another episode of the Three Parallels Podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were. We embrace who we are with 2 arms, hugging it out, and we make room for who we're trying to become, him. And when I am him, when I am her, there's nothing you can tell me because I already know. Have a good day. Peace.